Hello, hello, fiends, and welcome to another horrific edition of Casey's Creepy Creations. Tonight we have a truly nauseating little nugget that I wrote and narrated, which I like to call The Silent Hunger. As always, we caution that the above video is not suitable for children, and if you suffer from a weak heart, please watch at your own risk. The Silent Hunger. An old van driving down a winding forest path. In the back are 4 college students laughing, joking, and brimming with excitement. This is their break from the grind of school, their escape from the overcrowded dorms and noisy city streets. Emily, the pragmatic one, checks the map in her lap, while her boyfriend, Chris, confidently tells her he knows the way. Jess, the energetic and adventurous spirit, hangs her head out of the window, relishing the fresh air. Mark, the quiet yet sharp member of the group, is preoccupied with his gear, double-checking their camping supplies. Thunderous music gradually builds as the van enters the dense forest. The towering trees block out the sun, casting thick shadows over the path. The forest feels alive, its silence unsettling despite the group's cheerful chatter. They reach a clearing, relieved to find the perfect spot. Secluded, peaceful, and surrounded by the beauty of nature. They set up tents, build a fire, and laugh as Jess tells a goofy story about their awkward first year in college. Little do they know the woods are watching them. Night falls, and the fire crackles under the starry sky. The friends are relaxed, sharing jokes, roasting marshmallows, and discussing their futures. But the laughter halts when faint rustling comes from the darkness. Jess shrugs it off, joking about wild animals, but Mark looks uneasy, his eyes scanning the shadows. Emily notices something too, not just the sound, but the weight of it. A feeling, as though unseen eyes are probing them, analyzing them. Maybe we should call it a night, she suggests, masking her unease. The group retires to their tents, but the quiet isn't restful. Chris hears distant whispers he can't quite make out. They sound deliberate, intentional. He shifts in his sleeping bag, dismissing it as nothing more than an overactive imagination. Morning comes, but not everyone is accounted for. Jess isn't in her tent. At first, they think she's playing one of her usual morning pranks, but the hours slip by with no sign of her. Chris and Mark search the nearby trails, calling her name loud enough to echo through the trees. They find nothing. No footprints, no gear, not even her phone. Their concern grows into dread when they stumble upon a torn piece of her sweater snagged on a branch. Behind it, claw marks gouge deeply into the bark of a nearby tree. The tension explodes in camp. Mark insists they pack up and leave while it's still light, but their van won't start. The tires spin in the mud, their progress arrested as if the forest itself conspires against them. The group is reluctantly stuck. As evening falls, the shadows grow darker, heavier. The night breathes with an unnatural stillness, and the group realizes they are not alone. A blood-curdling scream pierces the night. Chris bolts from his tent to find Mark staring at the forest edge, pale and shaking. A figure looms there, barely illuminated by the moonlight. Its form is grotesque, an alien shape twisted and unnatural. Its elongated limbs shimmer with a slimy texture. Its eyes, empty and black, radiate predatory intelligence. Before they can process their terror, it moves. Fast, silent. It disappears back into the woods, but not without dragging something or someone behind it. The reality of the danger begins to sink in. Jess hadn't wandered off, she was taken. Terrified whispers ripple between the remaining 3. Emily suggests devising a plan to survive, while Chris wants to confront the creature head-on to save Jess. Tensions rise as fear overtakes logic. They decide to stay together but keep their weapons, a hunting knife and a makeshift torch ready. The alien is no mindless predator. It's intelligent, cruel, and methodical. Throughout the next day, it doesn't attack directly. Instead, it toys with them, leaving signs of death and decay around the camp. A severed animal limb here. Deep scratch marks there. A piece of clothing, torn and bloody, dangles provocatively. Exhaustion and fear sap their strength as paranoia takes over. They hear whispers, unmistakable now, emerging from all sides of the woods, trapping them in a psychological game they can't escape. That night, Mark insists on taking the first watch while the others sleep. Hours tick by slowly until his eyes begin to droop, and then silence. By the time Emily and Chris wake, Mark is gone. His flashlight lies shattered on the ground. Blood smears led into the darkness, vanishing among the trees. Emily and Chris, now completely alone, stumble through the woods in search of any clue about their friends or a way out of this waking nightmare. It's then that they find it, a cave concealed behind a thicket of dead trees. A rancid smell wafts from its depths. Inside, everything becomes horrifyingly clear. They discover remnants of their friends, Jess's scarf hanging limp near the skeleton of something unidentifiable. Scattered bones glisten under layers of slime. In the cave's darkest corner, they see it, a pulsating mound sickeningly alive. The alien isn't just hunting them, it's feeding its hunger to nurture something. The realization explodes within Emily. It's pregnant. The creature is preparing to reproduce. More monstrosities like itself. Chris grips her arm, shaking with fear but determined. "We can't let this happen," he growls. For a moment, they summon bravery. Emily and Chris forge a plan. They'll destroy the nest using the limited tools and resources they have. With trembling hands, Chris fashions a rudimentary Molotov cocktail from the leftovers of their supplies. Returning to the cave at nightfall, they light the flames. Emily hesitates, breathing fast as the shadows within the cave seem to move, twisting toward her. She throws the torch, setting the nest ablaze. The fire's glow illuminates the alien as it emerges, fury radiating from its soulless black eyes. It lets out a horrific scream, the sound vibrating in their skulls. The creature doesn't retreat. It attacks. Chris confronts it head-on, thrusting a burning stick toward its claw-like hands. "Run, Emily!" he shouts as the alien rips him apart with terrifying ease. Emily stumbles through the burning forest, the fire spreading with unnatural speed as though alive. Devastated but determined to survive, she presses on. Behind her, the alien screams, its shadow looming closer, faster. Red eyes glow in the smoke. It catches her. Talon-like fingers tighten around Emily's throat as she gasps for air. Her vision dims, but just before her consciousness slips, she spots something chilling. The alien's abdomen, now bulging. Somehow, despite their efforts, the egg survived. Emily screams, but the sound is swallowed by the forest. Morning breaks over the forest, calm and silent. Gone are the screams, the fires, the fight. The campsite remains abandoned, their belongings scattered and lifeless. The camera pans into the depths of the woods, where a faint but unmistakable sound emerges. A low growl, like a predator licking its wounds and waiting to return to hunt. The screen fades to black, leaving only silence, broken by a single thought spoken in an ominous whisper. "It's still here." Well, boils and ghouls, we've come to the end of yet another terrifying tale. If you've liked what you've seen, please feel free to drop us a like, a comment, or maybe even a subscription. They may seem like little things to you, but they mean a lot to us here at the dungeon. If you like the video and would like to find out how it was made, click the link in the description below. I am affiliated with Flicky AI and will receive commission if you decide to make a purchase. They also have a free plan as well if you would like to try it out. And by the way, if you like what we've got for you here, then maybe you might want to check out these other YouTubers, Overlord DVD, Theta Zord, Osaka Chandal, and Stark of Iron. Links in description. They're to die for. Thanks and unpleasant dreams until we meet again.